Hey guys, I wanted to just give you this really brief training update. Just to let you know, this is honestly, unequivocally the strongest I've ever been. This is 600 for 5 at an RPE of 9 after pause squats. Volume, like my best set of 5 before this, I think it was like, I don't know, like 573, and that was like more fresh, not after squats. So to be hitting this after squatting is pretty freaking fantastic. Safety bar squats are blowing up. Bench is even progressing, and I don't have any um, pec or shoulder pain, which is amazing. I've actually switched to 4 days a week of benching, and that's been really helpful for me. Just basically doing less volume per session on bench, and then just spreading it out a little bit more. It kind of like desensitizes my pecs and my shoulders to kind of that stimulus. And then because I'm being a lot better in general, with the exception of this week, I'm not overshooting things. Things are also just feeling really, really good. But yeah, I'm waking up around 189.8 pounds in the morning, which is basically 190. Um, and performance is going way up in the gym. And I definitely feel like I'm actually recovering and adapting to my training. And this is a main topic I really wanted to discuss here in this video is what is the most important variable to focus on when you're actually trying to add more muscle mass. Because I do think that people like to overfixate on calories and being like, okay, I need to be in the surplus, I need to do X, Y, Z. While it is important to supply the substrates to fuel hard energy training, to probably add some net body over time is probably a better guarantee on gaining some more muscle mass. Kind of like if you were to try to diet down, you wouldn't like want to stay the same weight. You'd have the highest likelihood of losing body fat. You want to lose body weight. However, the most important variable to focus on when you're trying to gain more muscle is really your training, because your training is the stimulus for muscle growth. If you are gaining weight and your training performance is not going up, I'm going to be pretty hard pressed to say that you're actually adding any sort of muscle mass. And I think a lot of times, people will over fixate on the calorie surplus or how many calories that they are eating, and they will not focus enough on how their body feels and their training energy and their perceived recovery. Now, obviously, you have an intelligent training plan. That's above all else. If you're not training properly, you're not executing your program properly, you need to address that first and foremost before you even try to address the nutrition side of things. But kind of think of nutrition as supportive. It's not going to be the causative factor for muscle growth. It's going to be supportive of that muscle growth. The most important thing in terms of gaining or maintaining muscle mass is your training. So really focus on eating in a way that's going to fuel your recovery, fuel your performance, and whatnot. Because, for example, I'll have periods of my training where I am really not gaining too much body weight, but if my training is going really, really well, I'm not going to just add in more food just because the scale is saying, it's not moving. Because overall, it's like your training is going well. What's probably going to happen over time is you're probably going to recomp a little bit, lose a little bit of body fat, gain a little bit of muscle mass. And historically, how I've really found like my bulks tend to go is I'll gain a decent chunk of body weight, like 2 or 3 pounds, when I initially do move into a surplus. And I kind of just stick there for like around like a month or two until I start to notice that I'm not recovering this the same way. And I actually notice I get kind of flat. And that's actually something I do pay attention to as well when I am trying to gain is like, where am I flat at? So for example, I used to be flat around like back when I started this road to 90 kilos, like back in September, I was flat around 180. And right before I did increase my calories, I was flat around like 186, 187. And so that's something to pay attention to. That's probably a sign that you're gaining some more muscle mass. And that's that your baseline level of muscularity is increasing. But I do think that like bulking should not be a all or nothing thing, especially with powerlifting. Powerlifting is about slowly adding that body weight over time and fueling that training for performance. It's similar with bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, they can be a little more aggressive with the weight gain and have more of these fluctuations upwards and downwards. and body size because they aren't in a performance-oriented sport. The reason why I take my bulk slow is because, one, I actually don't perform as well in a really big surplus. I tend to get really bloated. I have a hard enough time eating as is, and just don't feel as good or as healthy as opposed to if I'm around maintenance or a very, very slight surplus. That's really, really important. You want to be able to train well. Again, training, it all comes back to fueling that training performance. And everybody has a different sweet spot. But you shouldn't be getting fat from your training or just from your diet. That's not a good sign. Side note here, see my strap on this next rep is going to pop and I get last two. Yeah. We need to get new leather straps. Yeah, threw those away. Yeah. Use your hands, be a man. But yeah, anyways, yeah, just like focus on that training performance. Focus on feeling better and on adding that net body weight over time. And it will happen with your training performance going up. Like again, you're going to gain more muscle. You're going to recount. You're probably going to enjoy the journey a little bit more. Have less of this yo-yo effect. I think it's more mentally healthy. I think that it's just a way better, way to think about things. Again, don't just eat more just to eat more. Eat more because there's actually a reason for you to eat more, such as your need to eat more to have better recovery, have more predictable training performance, or whatever. And then don't necessarily just increase calories because. Like, don't go off of only the scale. Go off of the the mirror, the gym performance, how you're feeling, how flat you are, a certain body weight, your actual body composition, all that stuff. It's just going to be a way smarter way to bulk overall.